Hi there, and welcome to Celeb Hut. So it seems as though Diddy may be deceiving his Alle friendly benefactor Clive Davis and squealing on him to country security. Well, Diddy became involved with a high-profile case with the federal authorities, and it appears as though they're going to have him on. Look, the federal authorities have supposedly been completing their examination concerning Diddy for a significant length of time now, and it seems as though they, at last, have him right, where they need him. However, reports have it that Diddy is frantic to keep away from prison, and he has surrendering names of individuals who really maintain the wrongdoing business in Hollywood, including purportedly Clive Davis Diddy. What's more, Clive go way back yet. It seems as though Diddy is solely after his own revenue right now, since he supposedly crossed paths with the federal authorities. I'm not abhorring on him for getting cash me. Possibly I'm simply loathing on the manner in which he got it, and I'm detesting on the general impact of what. At it's done you all they talking about that Diddy is singing like a canary and not entirely set in stone to ensure that he doesn't go down alone for anything they have him on it. Just so happens, Diddy isn't the only one engaged with the wrongdoings that he has been blamed for by the federal authorities since it's a supposed trick. Furthermore, Diddy is squealing hard on everyone that is engaged with this supposed connivance. Well, this is fascinating in light of the fact that after Diddy's Holmes, Ott struck a few group in the business guaranteed that Diddy was being utilized as the fall fellow for a trick that affected a few group remembering probably the greatest elites for Hollywood, for instance. Candace Gracious Successes tweeted, "The federal authorities are presently striking Diddy's home. They definitely understood what he was doing, yet he will be the fall fellow, so they can safeguard individuals at the highest point of the ring. They are assaulting his home to conceal proof, not to find it. That is the manner by which this works. But rather it appears as though Diddy may be at last beginning to understand one or the others. The reason he's been squealing his head off since the strikes on the off chance that you've been under a stone or something to that effect. Diddy has been in a difficult situation for quite a while now, beginning with Cassie's claim, and at present Rodney Little Bar Jones's claim. We as a whole felt that Little Bar was going to be the most obviously terrible of it. Yet the following thing we realized was that the federal authorities were thumping on Diddy's entryway, minding out a strike that they guaranteed was in a connection to the sex-dealing case and Diddy children. Justin and Christian were both connected to a traffic examination. He had a few chances of a couple of individuals emerging from the home. Those individuals have been confined now. We're attempting to, in any case, come to an obvious conclusion. We really do have a few sources on the scene here that we're getting this data from. We were entirely the initial ones here, with around 30 different policings. Basically, there are 3 Bearcats on the scene here. I would agree that under 10 minutes prior, we arrived even before the crime location tape came up, so, we're directly down the slope. Assuming you look into the road where Tony is correct now to the right, you'll see one of those Bearcats, and policing the opposite side of those shrubs is essentially that home that is enlisted in awful kid films. At first, we felt that Diddy had escaped the country to the Caribbean since his personal luxury plane was found in Antigua, following the assault. Yet he was rather seen at Miami Global Air Terminal, where unintentionally his supposed medication mule was additionally captured that very day. I suppose you can't help thinking about what will occur next, Diddy. And afterward, however, see, this was only the beginning of the issue on the grounds that the examination didn't end at the strikes alone. If you all much insight into the federal authorities, it's that they are careful with their examinations. Thus, you all realize that this case is a long way from being over. The examination is as yet continuous, and the present moment Diddy is confronting seemingly forever in a correctional facility, which would make sense of why he would be supposedly squealing on everyone engaged with the connivance. They say he's singing like a canary. Now, there are a few names that have been tossed around this case, including Jay-Z, and there have been reports that Diddy has purportedly been squealing on Jay-Z, despite the fact that he and Jay-Z have been best friends for a long time. On the off chance that he's around here squealing on his best buds, you all can wager that he's around here squealing on every other person. and it's just a matter of time before his case. Bust it completely open. Bust it, bust it. And do you all realize one name that is being thrown around in this wreck? That is Mr. C.L. Davis. That is who the Rhodes are, currently guaranteeing that Diddy is supposedly making an agreement with the federal authorities for a lesser sentence in return for giving them data on Clive Davis. And in the event that there is somebody who knows where every one of the bodies are covered with regards to Clive, it's purportedly Diddy now. To those of you who haven't been fixed on the inward operations of the music business, we should rewind a bit and plunge into the well-established connection between Clive Davis and Diddy. Their story goes way back to Diddy's days at Uptown Records. Currently, Uptown Records was controlled by Andre Harrell, yet Clive Davis was the one with the abundant resources. Furthermore, despite the fact that Harrell was the essence of the activity, when Diddy was terminated from Uptown Records after an unfortunate occasion at City School of New York, where 9 residents were lost, he didn't simply blur into the shadows. No, sir. He had an arrangement. He pitched his Terrible Kid Records song to Clive Davis in a stunning turn. Clive upped Diddy as well as pulled in assets from Uptown Records to help. Launch Terrible Kid. Now you may be considering, how did Diddy figure out how to swing such an arrangement, particularly after such a public catastrophe? Well, as per answers, there's more going on than meets the eye. As per individuals in the know, Diddy supposedly consented to turn into Clive's Don Juan, satisfying his cravings in return for popularity and power. Now, for the most part, what people do in secret is their business. I mean, to do their thing. They're developed grown-ups, right? Yet, as per insiders, their adventures went far past your standard hookups. Purportedly, they were kneed somewhere down in some genuinely obscure dealings. For the overwhelming majority years, fans have been pointing fingers solidly at Clive Davis for the lamentable destruction of Whitney Houston. Now, before you feign exacerbation, we should truly unload this A-piece. Whitney's demise was back in 2012, and it sent shockwaves through the business. Right up until now, it's actually been covered in secret. At that point, Whitney was set to perform at Clive Davis's Preg Foul Slam at the Beverly Hilton Lodging in Slopes on February 11th, 2012. Yet in the days paving the way to the occasion, things took an unusual turn. Reports surfaced of Whitney acting a wide range of bizarrely in the wake of meeting with Liv. A few news sources detailed that she seemed rumpled and confused, with what resembled sweat running down her face and blood trickling down her leg. 2 days after this, she was found oblivious in a bath, and she died not long before the party started. Whitney's partner coincidentally found on her lying face down in the tub. Lethargic frenzy set in. She called Whitney's protector, Beam Watson, to help her get Whitney out of the tub. He later let the Mirror know that the scene in the restroom was dreamlike, and he overreacted on the grounds that he was unable to comprehend what befallen Whitney. I was unable to let her know if she was alive or dead. He said I got her out of the water and attempted to restore her, but then it was all insane. Winnie's right hand and her body monitor revealed that they called 911, and the paramedics showed up at Whitney's lodging. They went mouth to mouth, yet tragically, it was past the point of no return at 3:55 p.m. Whitney was articulated dead. We have letting the cat out of the bag this evening. Out of Los Angeles, the demise of singing star Whitney Houston. At 48 years old, subtleties are as yet coming in yet. Her marketing expert has affirmed her demise to the related press, albeit the conditions and the spot are not satisfactory. Now, the reason for Whitney's passing wasn't promptly known, and the neighborhood police expressed that there were no undeniable indications of criminal purpose anyway, subsequent to DI. Recting a dissection and running toxicology test, the LA Region Court 4's office inferred that Whitney's demise was brought about by suffocating consolidating with the impacts of coronary illness and cocaine utilize. This is where things got truly obscure, however. The dissection report noticed that there was some outer injury on Whitney's body, and the coroner decided that there were no indications of treachery. Clive not dropping the party after he got data on Whitney's demise raised a ton of eyebrows, and it had bunches of individuals pointing denouncing fingers at him. Clive then uncovered that he didn't end the party since he maintained that it should be a recognition for Whitney, since that is what she would have believed him to do, and he likewise demanded that Whitney's family didn't request that he drop the party. For what reason did you let the party happen? Obviously, this is something individual, yet the Grammys were the following night. Subscribe Celeb Hut for more videos.